Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, and welcome to Snowpoint City, where the Snowpoint Frost are coming off their first ever win in the Elite Challenge League, and they're hosting the Virbank Venom, who are starting out with Nidoqueen and Tentacruel. The Frost are going to start out with Avalugg and Vanilluxe. Let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win today's battle, the Snowpoint Frost or the Virbank Venom. But as I said, the Snowpoint Frost are coming off their first ever victory as they take on the 4th place Virbank Venom. Tentacruel is going to go first, and it's going to start out with a very impressive looking Fusion Bolt, and it's going to target Avalugg. It won't do as much damage as impressive as it did look. Vanilluxe, with its opportunity to respond, has 110 special attack, so it can do some massive damage. Opts to go with a Scorching Sands though, and does get a decent hit on Tentacruel with that super effective move, and also leaves Tentacruel with a burn, so Tentacruel is going to be taking damage in between turns, as Nidoqueen responds with a Stomping Tantrum for its team. And just as impressive as a hit on Vanilluxe there, Vanilluxe's weak arm is going to lower its defense. Vanilluxe's speed will increase though, so you should be seeing Vanilluxe go first on the next turn. Avalugg now, a very defensive Pokemon with a defense of 184. That is huge. A massive defense. Tentacruel will take its damage from that burn. Tentacruel now being in the yellow. So Nidoqueen's on the field with a 92 base attack. Also has a 90 HP. Tentacruel has that 120 special defense as Vanilluxe is now going first and goes with a Mega Punch, taking Tentacruel all the way down into the red already. Tentacruel needs to respond with something big, and it's going to go with a Body Slam. And it will respond to Vanilluxe, taking Vanilluxe down into the yellow, and it will leave Vanilluxe paralyzed. So Vanilluxe's weak armor will lower its defense again and boost its speed, but it is paralyzed, so it may not even be able to move. Nidoqueen could actually finish it off here. Goes with an Air Slash. And it will target Vanilluxe, taking it down into the red, but Vanilluxe is still holding on in this battle. Avalugg now. It's going to go with a Hydro Cannon. This will be super effective if it targets Nidoqueen. But it's going to go for Tentacruel, but Tentacruel actually held on. But there's that burn damage again, so Tentacruel will be eliminated by that burn, not by the Hydro Cannon. Third Pokemon now will be coming out for the Virbank Venom. And it's going to be Roserade. Roserade with a massive special attack of 125. Also has a special defense of 105. So it could do some big damage, especially if it gets any fire type moves off in this battle. Vanilluxe still with the speed advantage thanks to that weak armor. Goes with an Astonish, targeting Roserade, welcoming it to the field. Roserade has an opportunity to respond here. Also having that 90 base speed. And here we go, a fire type move. Goes with a Fire Pledge. And it's going to finish off Vanilluxe. Vanilluxe is eliminated with that super effective move. That's a fantastic start there for Roserade. Nidoqueen has an opportunity to focus solely on Avalugg. And it's going to go with a Sand Attack. So it doesn't go for an offensive move, but this could prevent Avalugg from doing any offensive of its own. Avalugg will be recharging from that Hydro Cannon as we have Lapras come out for the Snowpoint Frost, and Ice Water type. Lapras has that 130 base HP. That's where its best stat is. Also has an 85 attack and 85 special attack. It is very well rounded. Acid Spray now coming from Roserade will target Avalugg, taking Avalugg all the way down into the yellow as it will lower its special defense in the process. Nidoqueen now. Speed advantage going to the Virbank Venom. Goes with a Pain Split and targets Lapras. So Nidoqueen will get a health boost there. Would have been horrible for the Virbank Venom if it had targeted Avalugg. And we're going to get a Leaf Storm now coming from Lapras. Looks like it's going to target Roserade, so it won't be as effective as it would have been on Nidoqueen. And it will also lower Lapras' special attack in the process. Avalugg, one of the slowest Pokemon in the Elite Challenge League, with a speed of only 28, is going to go with a Shadow Sneak, targeting Nidoqueen. It's not going to do a great deal of damage, however. And as always, this is a 6-on-6 Metronome battle, and if we hit that 20-minute time limit, we will go into single battle overtime. Roserade now. It's going to go with a Coil, so it's just going to look to boost its stats. There it goes, boosting its attack, defense, and accuracy. Psych Up now, coming from Nidoqueen, so also just looking to boost its own stats. Virbank Venom. So it only copies the stat changes of Lapras. Not much to happen there, though. Lapras is going to go with a Scratch. And it will target Nidoqueen with that. Avlac has an opportunity to follow up. And it's going to go with a Soak, so it's going to add the Water type into somebody on the field, and it targets Nidoqueen with it. So Nidoqueen is now going to become a Water type. Now the Virbank Venom are currently sitting in 4th. They did lose last week, but they have been hovering around that top 5 very consistently, so they want a victory today just to help secure their spot, make it even stronger, leading halfway into this battle. But there's a Stone Edge from Roserade, and it gets its second elimination, taking out Avalok, the massive defensive Pokemon from this battle. That was a huge hit there by Roserade. Nidoqueen now is going to go with a Draining Kiss. It's solely only going to focus on Lapras, so it is the only one on the side of Snowpoint Frost at the moment. It's not going to do a great deal of damage, but Nidoqueen will get some health restoration. Lapras now needs to respond with something. It's going to go with a Tailwind, so it's actually going to make its side quicker. They will have the speed advantage for the next number of turns. So the 4th Pokemon now is going to come out for the Snowpoint Frost, and it's going to be Cloyster, another very big defensive Pokemon. Cloyster has a defense stat of 180, so it's only 4 less than that of Avalok's, and Cloyster will have the speed advantage on the field at the moment. Thanks to that Tailwind, it goes with a Fire Spin, and it's going to target Roserade, so it will leave Roserade taking damage from that Fire Spin in between turns. Lapras can follow up its teammate. It's going to go with an X-Scissor. Also continuing to target Roserade. Massive hit. Roserade is now in the yellow. Roserade has a chance to respond though. And it's going to go with a Twister. This will hit both Cloyster and Lapras. Nidoqueen now. Slowest Pokemon on the field thanks to that Tailwind, and it's going to go with a Tail Whip. So it will lower the defense of Lapras and Cloyster. Again, that amazing defense stat of Cloyster. As Roserade, thanks to that Fire Spin, is taken down into the red. So you have to think Roserade is only a matter of time before it is eliminated from this battle. Cloyster has that opportunity right now. And it's going to go with a high horsepower. And it goes for Nidoqueen instead, taking Nidoqueen down into the yellow. Lapras also with the same opportunity. It's going to go with a Grudge, so it won't go for an offensive move. Roserade needs to get something big off here, as it will be taking that Fire Spin shortly. Roserade's going to go with a Shockwave. This should be super effective. Goes for Cloyster, and Cloyster is eliminated with that super effective move from Roserade. That is 3 in a row for the Grass Poison type. Fantastic showing so far by Roserade. Nidoqueen looking to capitalize. Goes with a Moonblast onto Lapras. Lapras takes that hit very well though, as clearly that Fire Spin has stopped for Roserade, and we have Arctovish come out for the Snowpoint Frost. Arctovish having that 100 base defense, also has 90 base attack and 90 special defense. And Lapras is going to set up for an Icicle Spear, still having the speed advantage. Thanks to the Tailwind, it hits once, gets a critical hit on that first one too. And there's 2. 3. Lapras has 3 of them. It's got 4, see if it can get the 5th. Gets Nidoqueen down into the red, as it will get all 5 of the Icicle Spears. Albeit not very effective, very consistent there by Lapras. Arctovish with an opportunity. It's going to go with the Darkest Lariat, almost like a Slingshot Lariat, just not as impressive, some people might say. But that Darkest Lariat was very impressive there, because it eliminated Nidoqueen from this battle. But Arctovish is left with the poisoning thanks to Nidoqueen's Poison Point ability. So Arctovish will be taking damage in between turns, as Roserade will use a Leer, looking to lower the stats of the opposing side. So Arctovish will have its defense lowered, as will Lapras, again having that defense stat lowered. There's that poisoning doing damage to Arctovish. We're now going to have the 4th Pokemon for the Virbank Venom come out, as the Snowpoint Frost Tailwind has finally petered out. And it will be Drapion, the Dark Poison type, not to be confused as a Bug type. Drapion comes onto the field with 110 base defense, but it's also got 95 base speed. So we'll be going first here. And Drapion's going to go with a Powder Snow. This isn't going to be very effective on the ice types. Barely even leaving a mark. If you blinked, you probably would have missed it. Roserade now is going to go with a Seismic Toss. And targets Lapras. Taking Lapras down into the yellow. Very decent hit there from Roserade. Lapras now is going to set up with a Power Trick. Looks like And will switch its attack and defense stats. So Lapras with that 85 attack, 80 defense, although its defense had been lowered. Arctovision is going to go with the Night Daze. And it will finally finish Roserade off. That is fantastic for the Snowpoint for us to get Roserade out of this battle and tie things up. It is now a 3-on-3 battle, as the Virbank Venom are going to send out their 5th Pokemon for this matchup. And they're going to send out Nidoking. Nidoking is surely not happy about Arctovision eliminating Nidoqueen from this battle. Nidoking is an amazing Pokemon, as I'm sure we all know, with 102 attack stat, and also it just looks fantastic. Now Drapion's going to go with an Iron Head, targeting Lapras, and that move is massive. It eliminates Lapras from this battle. That is huge for the Virbank Venom, which means Nidoking can focus its anger onto Arctovision. It's going to go with the Giga Impact. This is going to be massive as well. And it is so big. Arctovision is eliminated with that critical hit from Nidoking. Nidoking clearly not happy about Arctovision taking Nidoqueen out. Very impressive, as we are now down to the last Pokemon for the Snowpoint Frost, and is Darmanitan in its Galarian form. It will have that Zen mode hidden ability being the home team, so if its health gets below 50, it will change form. We'll see if that happens today. Gonna get a tickle from Drapion. So Darmanitan's amazing 140 attack stat will be lowered there, which is actually a good start for the Virbank Venom. Darmanitan's going to set up with a Spite, and it does it in response to Drapion. Nidoking is going to recharge for this turn from that Giga Impact. You have to think it was probably worth it, as it is now a 3-1 advantage to the Virbank Venom. Darmanitan now is going to go with a Retaliate. And it continues to focus on Drapion. Gets a decent hit in there on the Poison Dark type. Drapion now with its opportunity to respond. They both have the same speed of 95, and it's going to go with a Spite of its own. So it too will lower Darmanitan's Metronome PP by 4. Nidoking now is going to go with the Defense Kill, boosting the defensive stat that it has of 77. It is clearly preparing to potentially be able to take a hit from Darmanitan. And on this turn, Drapion will be going first. And it's going to go with a Splash. Obviously, nothing is going to happen here from Drapion using that move. Darmanitan now with its opportunity. And it's going to go with a Shadow Ball. Will focus on Drapion. This should not be very effective. Barely doing any damage to the Pokemon. Nidoking has an opportunity to seize now. And it's going to go with a Baton Pass. So Nidoking's actually going to go back to the bench, as the 6th Pokemon for the Virbank Venom will come out to take its place. But do not be confused, Nidoking is still in this battle. And the last Pokemon comes out for the Virbank Venom. It's Toxtricity in its low-key form. Toxtricity has that 114 special attack. Shell Side Arm now coming from Darmanitan, so a Poison type move, and it's going to target Toxtricity. It's not going to do a great deal of damage to the Poison Electric type. Drapion. It's going to go with a Lunar Dance, so Drapion's actually going to take itself out of this battle when the Virbank Venom have such a massive advantage. This is terrible. Drapion did not need to do such a reckless move. Drapion is eliminated. Toxtricity on the field by itself, facing Darmanitan. Nidoking will be coming out to face it, to join it shortly, as Toxtricity goes with a Sand Attack to lower Darmanitan's accuracy. And Nidoking back on the field. So it's Nidoking getting the benefits of the Lunar Dance, but Nidoking and Toxtricity facing up to Darmanitan. Darmanitan has the speed advantage on the field at the moment. And it's going to go with an Eruption, so this will hit both Nidoking and Toxtricity. These are the type of moves that Darmanitan needs to do. Nidoking now with its opportunity goes with a Slack Off, so it's just going to restore health for this turn. Nidoking does take itself back to 100%. Toxtricity, they need to go for some offensive moves. And it's going to go with a Giga Impact. We saw this earlier in the battle. And Darmanitan holds on. It will change into its Zen mode. I cannot believe it held on from that move. That was so impressive. Darmanitan needs to hit very hard as it has very minimal health left. Darmanitan in its Zen mode goes with a tar shot. Nidoking avoids the attack. This is the Virbank Venom's chance, and it's going to go with a Fishious Rend from Nidoking. This should finish it off. And it does. Darmanitan has been eliminated with that super effective Fishious Rend. The Virbank Venom have won this matchup, which is exactly what they wanted to do. They did not want to be the second team to lose to the Snowpoint Frost. But the Snowpoint Frost actually had a very good start to this battle. But then Roserade came on and just tore up the field, taking out 3 Snowpoint Frost Pokemon, which was a fantastic performance. Nidoqueen, who was in this battle for quite some time, eventually being eliminated by Arctivish, who also did quite well for the Snowpoint Frost. Nidoking clearly not very happy with that. We're going to annihilate Arctivish from this battle. And the Virbank Venom came out with a massive win. They're definitely going to want to repeat that next week when they host the Strife and Spring in Virbank City. Next week is the Rivalry Round, so they were facing their rivals. That will mean a lot for the Virbank Venom to get the victory next week. Whereas the Snowpoint Frost will be facing the Trevita Cascade again in Snowpoint City. They have not had a great season, and they do not want that to happen when they face their rivals. They want to get their second win. And the Trevita Cascade have had a very inconsistent season, so the Snowpoint Frost could potentially capitalize. He was the first of 2 Giga Impacts in the battle that Nidoking used to take out Arctivish. A massive critical hit, but very impressive hit, regardless. That Luna Dance from Jokulin would have been a bit of a scare for the Virbank Venom, but they did not let it deter them from this victory. Again, next week is the Rivalry Round, but a very impressive showing by the Virbank Venom. Slowpoint Frost did their best against the 4th place team. But as always, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field today. And always remember, you are awesome, and I will speak to you guys next time. Bye.